The arena was loud. Thousands of aliens screamed and laughed from the stands. Creatures of all shapes and colors sat together, waiting for the next fight. Their sharp teeth smiled. Their strange eyes glowed. They were excited for them. This was fun. In the middle of the arena, under a red sky, stood a human boy. His name was Raiden. He was young, maybe 20 years old. Thin. Tired. His clothes were torn. His arms had cuts and bruises. Chains hung from his wrists. He looked weak compared to the large aliens around him. Some were 10 feet tall, with thick armor and glowing weapons. Raiden had no armor. He had no weapon. Just his bare hands. Above him, a voice echoed from loudspeakers in an alien language. A translator chip buzzed in his ear. And now, the weakest creature in the galaxy, the human. The crowd roared with laughter. Raiden closed his eyes. He was not surprised. They always said the same thing. Aliens hated humans. They thought humans were animals, useless, small, soft, but they didn't know the full truth, not yet. A giant alien stepped forward. It was a Zarkan warrior 8 feet tall, with 4 arms and a spiked tail. Its armor was black and alive, moving like it had a mind of its own. The creature smiled at Raiden. Raiden took a deep breath. He ran toward the alien and tried to punch. His fist hit the creature's armor and bounced back. The alien didn't even feel it. In return, the Zarkan slammed him with one hand. Raiden flew across the arena, hit the wall, and fell. The crowd cheered louder. Blood dripped from his mouth. He tried to stand up, but his legs were shaking. His body wanted to give up, but his mind said no. Suddenly, something strange happened. He heard a voice. It was soft, not like the alien crowd. It spoke inside his mind. "You are not alone, Raiden." He froze. "What? Who is this?" He whispered. "Come to me. Deep inside this place. I have been waiting for you." The voice was calm, ancient. It felt familiar, like an old memory. Then the Zarkan grabbed him by the neck. It lifted him up for all to see. The crowd screamed with joy. But Raiden was not afraid anymore. His eyes looked past the alien toward the dark tunnel behind the arena. He could see something glowing inside. The voice spoke again. "Come, heir of fire. Touch the forgotten ship." The alien threw him back to the ground. Raiden didn't move. He pretended to be knocked out. 2 alien guards came forward. One kicked him. "Stupid human. He's useless," one said. "Let's throw him back into the cells." They dragged his body down the halls of the space station. Raiden kept his eyes closed, waiting. When the guards turned a corner, he moved fast. He kicked one in the leg and pushed the other into the wall. He grabbed a fallen stun rod and hit them both. They collapsed. Raiden ran. He didn't know why, but the voice inside him was getting louder. It was calling him like a magnet. He followed dark corridors, rusty pipes, and forgotten doors. No one came this way anymore. Dust filled the air. He reached a large steel door. It was half broken, with old alien symbols glowing softly on the sides. It felt strange, ancient, powerful. The voice whispered again, "This is your beginning." Raiden touched the door. It opened. Inside, the room was cold and dark. But in the center stood something huge, an old spaceship. It was not like the others on the station. Its design was different, almost human, smooth metal. Faded lights, silent. Raiden stepped closer. He saw a symbol on the ship's side, circle with 3 wings. His breath stopped. He had seen it before, long ago, in a book. It was a symbol of old Earth's lost heroes. But everyone said it was just a myth. He placed his hand on the ship. Suddenly, the lights turned on. The ground shook. Energy flowed around him. The ship came to life. Raiden stumbled back. A new voice, deeper than before, filled the room. Human detected. Bloodline confirmed. Welcome, Commander. Raiden's eyes widened. What are you? The ship answered, I am your past and your future. From the shadows, metal began to move. A hidden door opened. Inside, something was waiting. Raiden took a step forward. Behind him, sirens began to ring. The aliens had noticed he was missing. Guards were coming. He had no time. He looked at the ship and whispered, Then help me. And the ship replied, Let us begin. Asterisk darkness filled the chamber. Raiden stood in front of the ancient ship, his heart beating fast. Lights on the ship slowly came to life, not bright, but soft, like a memory waking up. The metal walls around him hummed with quiet energy. He could feel it in his skin. This place was not just old. It was forgotten. The ship's voice echoed again, deep and calm. Welcome, Commander. Raiden looked around confused. Why do you call me that? I'm no commander. I'm just a prisoner. You are more than that, the ship replied. You carry the blood of the first. The words meant nothing to Raiden. But something inside him stirred, like a long locked door opening inside his mind. He stepped forward slowly. The ship's ramp lowered with a soft hiss. Dust flew into the air, untouched for maybe hundreds of years. Symbols glowed under his feet as he walked inside. Everything was silent. The halls were wide, with smooth metal and blue lights that lit up only when he passed. Strange markings covered the walls, half alien, half human. He could not read them, but he felt their meaning. This ship was not made by one world. It was built by many. Who built this ship? Raiden asked. The voice replied, Your ancestors. Warriors from Earth, before Earth was broken. Raiden stopped. Earth was destroyed? Not destroyed, stolen, erased. They feared what humans could become. Raiden's mind spun. He had heard stories in whispers, old tales of human warriors who once ruled the stars. But he never believed them. Now he was standing inside one of their ships. He reached a large round chamber at the ship's center. The door slid open. Inside, machines and screens covered the walls. In the middle floated a black cube, spinning slowly, connected to wires and energy streams. This is my core, the ship said. My memory, my soul. Raiden touched the cube. Suddenly, his mind was flooded with images. Flashes of fire. Armored warriors flying through space. Alien empires falling. And at the center of it, all a figure wearing a powerful suit of armor glowing with golden energy. Raiden fell to his knees, gasping. What was that? The last memory of the Legion, the ship said. The final war. The armor was lost. Until now? Raiden looked up. You said. I carried the blood of the first. What does that mean? Only a true descendant can awaken me. And only you can wear the armor. Raiden's heart pounded. Armor? He had heard the alien guards speak of a god armor hidden somewhere in the ship. A myth, a story to scare children, but what if it was real? He followed the ship's voice deeper into the heart of the vessel. The walls were different here. They pulsed with light like veins under skin. The air was heavier, thick with energy. Finally, he reached a sealed door with glowing marks. It slowly opened. Inside was a circular room. Floating in the center was something beautiful and terrifying. The ancient armor. It was not like anything Raiden had seen. Made of black and silver metal, with faint blue energy running across it like lightning. It floated above a platform, untouched by time. Raiden stepped closer. The ship spoke softly. This armor once belonged to the Starburn, the first protectors of mankind. It chose you the moment you touched this ship. Raiden stared at the armor. Why me? Because you were never weak, only hidden. He reached out. The armor reacted instantly, rising higher, unfolding in pieces, scanning his body. Lights moved fast across his skin. Suddenly, it shot forward and attached itself to his chest, arms, legs. Raiden screamed. It burned. It twisted. It wrapped around him like fire and metal. His eyes turned white for a moment. Every nerve in his body screamed, and then silence. The armor stopped. Raiden stood tall. His cuts were gone. His body felt stronger, faster, alive. The room went quiet, then behind him. Footsteps. He turned fast. His new helmet showed heat signatures. Alien guards. They had found him. Raiden clenched his fists. The armor responded. A blue shield formed on one arm and a blade on the other. His fear was gone. Only one thought stayed in his mind. They mocked me. Now they will fear me. The aliens rushed in. Raiden charged. The room lit up with energy blasts, screams, and the sound of metal meeting metal. Raiden moved like a storm, too fast to follow, too strong to stop. For the first time in his life, he wasn't running. He was fighting back. Silence fell. Smoke drifted across the chamber. Alien bodies lay scattered across the floor, unconscious, breathing but defeated. Raiden stood in the center. His new armor glowed faintly in the dark. Blue lights moved slowly across its surface, like rivers of light. The helmet opened with a hiss, revealing his face, sweaty, wide-eyed, and full of questions. He looked at his hands. They no longer looked like his. The armor had changed him. He wasn't just wearing it. He was part of it. A soft voice returned in his head. Not just the ship now. This voice was different, older, closer. You are now linked to the Legion Corps. Who are you? Raiden whispered. I am the memory of the armor. I am what remains of those who wore it before you. The armor tightened around his chest. Images flashed in his mind, brief, like broken dreams. A woman in golden armor leading an army. A child holding a small glowing orb. A burning city under alien skies. And a human voice shouting, "Never kneel again." Raiden stumbled backward, shaking. Why are you showing me this? Because you are the last, the voice said. The last one worthy? He tried to breathe, but the armor felt heavy now, like it carried history on every piece of metal. Not just power, responsibility. The ship spoke again. Its voice filled the room. The armor is not complete. What do you mean? Raiden asked, turning in a circle. I can fight. I'm stronger now. Strength is not everything. There are pieces missing, lost long ago. You must recover them. Raiden walked back to the core chamber. The lights dimmed as he passed. The ship seemed to be falling asleep again, as if it had spent all its energy waking up. Inside the chamber, a small drone floated out of the wall. It had a round metal body and one blinking blue-eyed dot. It spoke in a cheerful voice. Greetings, new commander. I am Unit 3X, but you can call me 3. Raiden raised an eyebrow. You work with the armor? I worked with all of them, the drone said, spinning in the air. You're my 10th human. The last one before you exploded, but don't worry, only a 27% chance of that happening. Again, Raiden blinked. Great. The drone floated toward a screen and showed a map, old, flickering, but still working. A red circle blinked on the screen, marking the space station where they were now. Far away, several other blinking lights appeared. What are those? Other ancient ships? The ship answered. Other armors, other weapons, and enemies? Always. Raiden studied the map. He could barely believe it. There were more ships like this one. More secrets, more answers. Maybe even more humans? Suddenly, alarms blared. Intruder signal DTTT spun in the air. Oh no, not them. Raiden tensed. Who? The ones who hunt the old, the ship said darkly. The armor. Breakers. Outside, a docking alert flashed red. Another ship had arrived, but this one wasn't alien military. It was small, fast, built for one purpose: killing ancient tech. Raiden's armor responded instantly. The shield returned to his left arm. A new interface appeared in his vision: combat mode. Then, the ship's voice whispered something chilling. "He wears corrupted armor." Raiden froze. "What?" "One of the first. He betrayed us. He took the armor and twisted it. He is not like you. He serves the ones who erased your kind." The air felt colder now. Raiden turned to 3. "How strong is he?" 3 beeped nervously. "Well, last time we saw him, he destroyed a whole rebel fleet." Raiden nodded slowly. "Right, so not a normal day." Bang! The ship shook. A figure walked through the outer hull, slow and heavy. Raiden watched through the monitor. The intruder was tall, covered in dark armor that moved like black smoke. Red energy pulsed through his chest. The helmet looked human, but wrong, like something once noble, now poisoned. Raiden felt anger rise in his chest. For years he was beaten, mocked, and called weak. Now he stood inside a ship built by his own people, wearing armor that once led empires. And this monster had taken that same power and twisted it. Not anymore. He stepped toward the entrance. 3 hovered near him. "Wait, you can't face him alone. He's got more experience. More weapons. More." Raiden looked over his shoulder. His eyes glowed faint blue through the armor. "Then I'll learn fast." Asterisk. The ship's air pressure dropped. Raiden stood still, every muscle tense inside the ancient armor. Around him, warning lights blinked red. The ship's systems whispered in his ear: "Incoming hostile. Energy levels ... extreme." The corridor was silent. The kind of silence that comes right before thunder. Then dash clang. A heavy footstep. Clang. Another dot from the shadows. The figure appeared. Twisted armor, black like burnt metal, pulsing with red veins of light. Its helmet had no face, just a long, vertical crack that glowed like a scar. It looked like something built by humans, but used by monsters. Raiden's AI whispered, "Designation, Varak, ex-human, armor corrupted by the Void Code." Raiden didn't answer. His breath slowed. His fingers tightened into fists. His body wanted to run, but something inside him refused. He would not be prey anymore. Varak stopped a few steps away. His voice came through the helmet low, rough, like a broken machine. "I've seen 10 like you try this path. All burned. All failed." Raiden raised his chin. "Then you never saw me." Varak tilted his head, amused. "You wear the armor like a child wears a crown." He raised his hand. A black blade grew from his arm, silent, sharp, deadly. Raiden's armor reacted. Blue light rushed down his arms. A circular shield formed on one side, and a short plasma blade lit up on the other. No more talking. Varak struck first fast, like a shadow cutting through fire. Raiden blocked just in time. Sparks flew. The force of the blow sent him flying back. He crashed into a wall but rolled to his feet. Pain shot through his body. His armor whispered in his mind, "His strikes are faster. Predict, learn, adapt." Raiden adjusted. He watched Varak's movement, too smooth, too practiced. But he saw something. A half-second pause before each strike. A pattern. He smiled. The next time Varak came in, Raiden dodged left and struck low, his blade grazing the side of Varak's leg. Sparks flew. The corrupted armor screamed. Raiden didn't wait. He charged. Blow after blow. He moved like fire through metal. His armor helped him now, not as a shield, but as a partner. Varak was no longer winning. He was reacting. Raiden kicked him into the wall and pointed his blade. "You had your chance. You chose fear." Varak stood, breathing hard. "You Think you're better? He hissed. You're alone. You're the last. This galaxy forgot your kind for a reason. Raiden stepped closer, his voice low and steady. Then I'll make them remember. With a roar, he unleashed a final attack, his armor glowing brighter than ever. A blast of blue energy struck Varric in the chest. The corrupted warrior flew backward, crashing through a sealed door and vanishing into the lower decks. Silence returned. Raiden stood still, heart pounding. The armor slowly cooled. The ship's lights faded from red to white. He had one dot, barely dot, but it was more than a fight. It was proof. He could become more than a prisoner, more than a survivor. He was rising. The ship's voice returned, stronger now. Your bond with the armor has grown. You are no longer just a user. You are becoming its master. Raiden exhaled. His voice was tired but calm. So what now? The drone 3 floated beside him, buzzing nervously. Now we rebuild. We escape this station. We find the others. Raiden looked at the stars. Through the cracked window. Out there, in the vast black, were other ships. Other armors. Other humans, maybe. He wasn't fighting just to survive anymore. He was fighting to bring back what was lost. The ancient symbol on his chest glowed, faintly. The mark of a forgotten legion, a fallen legacy. But it was rising again. The stars outside the ship no longer looked peaceful. Raiden stood in the central chamber, his armor dimming after the battle with Varric. The walls of the ship healed slowly, cracks sealed. Lights flickered back on. The ship breathed again, alive, and watching. But something felt wrong. The ship's voice whispered in his head, "Another signal is approaching." Raiden turned toward the control screen. A shape appeared fast, sleek, cutting through space like a blade. Not a cruiser. Not a warship. Just one being. In full armor. Raiden's armor responded. It began to hum, softly at first, then louder. "Who is it?" Raiden asked. The AI answered with a single word. "Mirror." Outside, the intruder landed silently. He walked toward the ship's outer doors, his footsteps strangely light for someone so dangerous. This new warrior wore armor too ancient like Raiden's, but updated, sharper, colder. It glowed with violet light, like poison wrapped in beauty. 3. The floating drone scanned him nervously. His armor is from the same forge as yours, but corrupted with alien tech. Raiden narrowed his eyes. Another traitor? No, the ship answered. A test. The door opened. Raiden stepped forward slowly, his boots echoing across the floor. The two armored figures stood face to face in silence. The intruder removed his helmet. He was human. Eyes cold. Expression empty. Face pale, but not afraid. Not here to kill you, the man said. I'm here to show you what you'll become. Raiden stayed quiet. The man continued. The armor feels good now, doesn't it? It gives you power, purpose, a reason to stand tall. But it doesn't stay that way. Raiden tightened his fists. It's not the armor that's dangerous, the man said. It's what it hides. Rage, pain, memory. You start wearing it to protect others. And one day, you realize you only wear it to protect yourself. Raiden's voice was low. Then you failed. The man smiled sadly. Or maybe I just saw the truth before you. He put the helmet back on. His armor shifted, sleek blades appeared along his arms. Wings of energy formed behind his back. Raiden's AI said, he is faster, stronger, more experienced, but unstable. Raiden responded, voice sharp, then break him. The floor shook. As both warriors rushed forward, the impact was like thunder. Blades clashed. Sparks exploded. The ship groaned under the weight of the fight. Raiden was pushed back. This was not like fighting Varric. This was different. This was like fighting Himself. The enemy moved like he already knew Raiden's next step. Every strike was countered. Every dodge was predicted. It was like fighting a shadow with all his thoughts. "You don't understand," the man shouted. "This galaxy doesn't want heroes anymore. It wants survivors." Raiden blocked his spinning blade and kicked the man away. "Then I'll survive as the last hero." The man's laugh echoed through the armor. "You still think you're special?" Raiden's armor glowed brighter, his energy increasing. The ship began to assist him, unlocking new protocols, adapting combat pattern. Raiden moved faster now, not because he was stronger, but because he was learning. Every punch, every movement told him something new about his enemy, about the armor, about himself. And then he saw it a crack, not in the armor. In the man, a small hesitation. Before he defended his left side, a limp in his foot, a whisper of doubt in his voice. Raiden struck fast, a spinning blade followed by a crushing punch. The enemy fell backward, sparks flying from his chest plate. Raiden stood over him. The enemy's helmet opened. Blood ran down the corner of his mouth. "You win," he said, voice trembling. "But you'll see, the armor always takes more than it gives." Raiden knelt beside him. Double quotes, "No. The armor gives you what you already had inside. I just remembered who I am." The man closed his eyes. Silence. Then the ship spoke again. "Signal lost. Enemy neutralized. You passed." 3 hovered close, quieter than usual. "You okay?" it asked. Raiden stood up slowly. His armor faded back into standby mode. "No," he said, "but I'm better than I was." He turned to the map screen. Multiple blinking lights still remained across the galaxy, other ships, other secrets. His next mission waited. But now he wasn't just a boy in armor. He was a warrior with a name, a purpose, and a future. The human legacy was no longer lost. The stars stretched wide ahead of him, cold, quiet, endless. Raiden stood on the bridge of the ancient ship, staring into space. The map floated before him in holographic light. Blinking points scattered across the galaxy. Each point, a signal. Each signal, a memory. But not of aliens, of humans. The ship's voice spoke gently in his ear. "These are the last known coordinates of the Legion fleet. Ships like me, forgotten, sleeping." Raiden touched the glowing point closest to his location. "Activate." "Jump sequence," he said. Engines hummed beneath his feet. He had no army, no fleet, no allies. Just a name the galaxy had tried to erase. And the armor of warriors who once ruled the stars. The jump through space was violent and fast. When the ship dropped out of warp, they arrived near a dead planet, ash-colored, no atmosphere, no cities. Only one thing stood there, a giant tower, rising out of the surface like a blade. Raiden landed in silence. The wind here didn't howl. It whispered like ghosts trying to speak. He walked toward the tower. His armor shifted slightly with each step, reacting to the strange energy in the air. 3. The floating drone hovered beside him. "There's something alive inside," 3 said. "But it's not human, not anymore." Raiden entered. The tower was filled with statues. Human figures, frozen in armor, locked in time. Dust covered everything. Symbols glowed faintly on the walls, matching the ones on Raiden's own armor. This was not just a ruin. It was a graveyard. And a message. He placed his hand on a stone tablet. The wall lit up. A voice echoed from long ago. "If you find this, you are one of us." Raiden froze. They feared us. Not because we were violent, but because we would not kneel. They erased our history, stole our worlds, broke our legacy. But we left pieces of ourselves behind in the stars. Suddenly, One of the statues moved. It wasn't a statue at all. It was a sleeper, a warrior in stasis. The armor broke open. With a loud hiss, and a figure dropped to the ground. Female, strong, eyes wild. Then focused. She gasped and aimed a built-in weapon at Raiden. "Who are you?" she demanded. Rayde and removed his helmet. "I'm like you." She scanned his armor. Her eyes widened. "You were the flame core," she said. "That armor was lost in the fall." Raiden helped her stand. "Then maybe the fall is over." Back aboard the ship, the woman commander Vela told him everything. She was part of the last human fleet. Her ship was damaged during the betrayal. She was put into stasis as her crew scattered or died. Raiden listened in silence. "Others are out there," she said. "More sleepers, more ships, more pieces of us. Can we find them?" He asked. She nodded slowly. "If your armor works, then yes, it can call to the others." Raiden turned to the galaxy map. The points began to shift, brighter now. His armor pulsed, sending out a silent signal. Across the galaxy, others began to stir. Meanwhile, far away, in the dark core of an alien empire, the Council of High Elders met. Screens showed Raiden's face. Footage of his battle with the corrupted armor. His ship's signature. Panic spread through the chamber. "This cannot be," one of them said. "The humans were broken." Another replied, "We broke their bodies, not their will." A third voice, ancient and slow. "If the flame core is active, then the starburn may rise again. Then we destroy him." They all agreed. "We destroy the legacy before it burns the galaxy again." A fleet was ordered, a bounty placed. An army awakened, but it was too late, because somewhere in deep space, thousands of old machines blinked to life. Weapons, engines, ships. And humans, long forgotten, were waking from their sleep. Raiden stood before the stars with Vela beside him. "We aren't just surviving anymore," he said. Vela smiled. "We're returning." The galaxy was no longer silent. Old signals moved through space. Human ships once forgotten were now blinking on long-dead scanners. One by one, ancient warriors awakened in stasis pods. Raiden had lit the fire, and it was spreading, but one light still remained. UNREHEHED. It pulsed from a dead star system at the center of a collapsed nebula. The location was marked in red on the map, surrounded by warning signs. Omega Core detected status. Locked warning. Unstable. Ayrton stood quietly in front of the screen. The others were with him. Vela, 3 the drone, and 3 more human warriors recently awakened. "You don't have to go," Vela said. "That place, it eats ships alive." Raiden nodded. "I know. But the final piece is there. The last armor. If the enemy is waking up everything they have, we need to finish what our ancestors started." Vela placed a hand on his shoulder. "Just come back." Raiden gave her a small smile. "I will. Or I'll make sure none of them forget who we were." The ship jumped into the collapsed star system. Everything around them was broken. Asteroids floated like ghosts. Ships, human and alien, drifted in silence, ruined by time. Lightning storms flickered in slow motion, and at the center of it all, a black station, shaped like a star with blades. The Omega Vault. Raiden entered alone. Inside, the air was still. The station wasn't empty. It was waiting. He walked down a long hall where light didn't reach. His armor flickered. Even the AI inside him whispered, "Less here," like something ancient watched from the dark. Then, at the center of the vault, he saw it. The Omega armor. It floated above a broken platform. Black and silver, trimmed with glowing gold. It didn't hum like the others. It didn't shine. It just existed like a sleeping god. The ship's AI whispered, "This armor was never finished. It holds power, but not balance. To wear it, you must give something back." Raiden stepped forward. "Like what?" "Your future." He stood still, then placed both hands on the armor. Visions flooded him. Earth in flames, stars falling. Humans hunted. Armors broken, worn by invaders. The last warrior placing the Omega Core inside this vault, locking it away forever with a warning. Not until one dares to rise without fear of falling. Raiden gritted his teeth. "I'm not afraid." The armor exploded into light, tearing. Across the room like a storm dot, it consumed him. On the ship, alarms went off. Energy spiked. Vela shouted, "He's doing it! He's activating the Omega!" The station trembled. Suddenly, silence. Then the door opened. Raiden stepped out, but it wasn't just Raiden anymore. The armor was different from all others. Wings of light folded behind him. His body glowed with a fire that didn't burn, but remembered. The past. The pain. The legacy. He spoke, but his voice carried many voices. I remember them all now. Every warrior. Every fallen friend. Every lie told. About us. 3 floated closer, stunned. You look like a myth." Raiden turned to the stars. "Let's make them real." At the same time, the alien fleet arrived near Earth's ruins, thousands of ships. One final move to wipe out the human spark before it could become a flame. Raiden's voice echoed across the comms to every ship now awakened, every warrior who had returned. They buried us, lied about us, called us weak, but we're still here. Not just to fight, but to take back what was ours. The stars lit up. Ancient human ships blinked into existence. Fighters, carriers, armored suits. Ships with names like Echo of Terra, Red Light Rebellion, and New Dawn. The battle began. Raiden flew through space like lightning, his armor burning trails behind him. No ship could match his speed. No blade could touch him. He wasn't using the armor anymore. He was the armor. He reached the center of the alien fleet. Their capital ship. Inside waited the enemy leader, the High Mind, a creature of thought and fear. "You were supposed to be extinct," it hissed. Raiden stepped forward. "So were your lies." He lifted his hand. A blast of pure memory, every fallen human, every forgotten battle exploded from his armor. It wasn't just energy. It was legacy. The alien fleet fractured. They saw, for the first time, what humanity once was and what it was becoming again. When the battle ended, only stars remained. The galaxy was quiet. Raiden stood alone on a moon's edge watching a blue planet far away. Vela joined him. "You could lead now. The fleet, the new Earth." He shook his head. "No, my part is done." She looked at him with wide eyes. "You're leaving?" Raiden nodded slowly. The Omega armor glowed faintly, fading. Someone had to light the fire. "Now it's your turn to keep it burning." And with one last step, he walked into the starlight, his armor dissolving into dust. But across the galaxy, children would tell stories of the man who wore the final armor, not to conquer, but to remind the stars who humans really were.